Give me a biracial Muslim woman, a marriage of convenience, a bioengineering dream hanging in a balance with hearts on the line, and this romance will have you questioning if love is actually required. Are you ready?
Yeah, 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 yeah. The Books and Vogue podcast. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come get your favorite next book. Yeah, 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 yeah. The Books and Vogue podcast. Yeah, 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 yeah. With Catherine Brad.
Welcome, book lovers, to the Books on Vogue podcast. This is your premier listening experience all about immersive reading and helping avid and reluctant readers alike imagine book characters like never before. I'm your host, Kat Trinidad. The format of the show is I introduce a book, share tips on how you can engage your senses as you read this title, because it's one thing to be a mood reader, but you get a little something extra from the story when you are set the mood reader. And finally, I will end the show with a reimagining of my favorite scene. Today, we will discuss techniques for getting into love, not required, with none other than the author, Talia Basma. Welcome, Talia.
Hello, hello.
So please tell us about the book.
Yes, so Love Not Required is a contemporary adult romance that is my debut contemporary adult romance, in which we are following the story of Sophia and Ayan. Sophia is a biotech nerd for all uh, and she's very passionate about having her career at a very specific space in a very specific way, but things go not as planned when her father is fired and he wants to move all of them, herself included, back to London where he has his own nuclear family. And she does not want to do that because all her things are going just as she had planned them to, except for this exact moment. And her father, I didn't want him to be a stereotypical bad dad, if you will, but he is worried about leaving his daughter behind in a place where they don't have any other family. So she sets out on a mission by accident, really, to get married, to kind of prove, okay, well, now I have someone obligated to take care of me in the way that you wanted, as this kind of compromise with him. And she doesn't actually think anything will happen because she's like, I don't even talk to boys, so I don't know how I'm going to go find myself a man. But of course, perfect timing in a romance novel, she runs into her old childhood friend Ayan, and he is a anesthesiologist in residence. And he kind of is like, you know what? My heart doesn't feel good hearing that you're about to leave everything you love behind. So I will marry you. And the book is really just the journey of them being married, and navigating that, without love, or maybe not without love.
Well, thank you so much for that, Talia. Do you care to join me in a discussion of some tips for setting a reading mood?
Yes, please.
Well, okay, book lovers, I hope you have your writing utensils ready because class is in session.
Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it. Ah. Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it. Ah. Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it.
The Books and Vogue podcast.
So, Talia, what's the vibe? How can we engage our spirit as we read this book?
I don't have like a specific answer for you, but the vibes on like a high level of this book is definitely California fall. And I mean, if you're in California, you know that the seasons aren't as prominent as some other places. So fall is winter, winter is fall, and sometimes a little bit of spring, which is kind of why it's hard to give you a set vibe. But I think, yeah, just kind of keeping that in mind where like the weather is kind of cold enough to be pulling out cardigans and sweaters. But also just light enough that people are wearing their cute, fancy stuff without worrying about being cold. So that's the overall vibe, I think, is
I
how I
love
can best
that. So it's
describe it.
giving chill, not too extreme.
Yeah. Not too cold, not too hot.
Yeah. So what's the sound of Love Not Required? What keynotes in music or nature could set the tone as we read this novel?
Yeah, so kind of in line with that fall vibe, I think like the sound of crunching leaves, and like wind and maybe like light patters of rain, are all nice nature sounds. If you have them at your house just by coincidence, that helps set the tone. I like writing with instrumental and classical music in the background. And to give you a specific song, by Fabrizio Paterlini, All My Joy, All My Pain. The title sounds really serious, but the song itself, I felt when I listened back to it, I was like, it matches the vibes.
Okay, okay. So do share the aesthetics. This can be any visuals aside from the book.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, again, the fall vibes. So think of like orange, and brown colorings. And then in terms of like pumpkins, because there's a pumpkin patch scene, um, they kind of move around a lot throughout their neighborhood. So very not quite small town vibe, but small town within a big city vibe. And so those aesthetics that are kind of accumulative of like Menlo Park and Palo Alto, if you're familiar with those areas in California, Bay Area and specifically. And then, sunsets, sunrises, those calming experiences that you have. But yeah.
Okay, okay. So what's the flavor? Any food or drink companions for this title?
I talk about food a lot in the book, but I think the number one food that I will recommend is a warm chocolate chip cookie. Sophia is very passionate about chocolate chip cookies. There's a whole little conversation between her and Ion about how to bake the perfect chocolate chip cookie. So if you also like chocolate chip cookies and enjoy the crunch versus gooey balance, that is the right snack. However, there are a lot of options in the book, including other Arab desserts and African dishes and Pakistani dishes.
Okay, okay. So what's the aroma? Are there any smells to transport us into the pages?
Yeah, so my friend actually runs a candle business and she has a candle called Orange Blossom that when I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, this smell actually matches this book really well. So I asked her what the notes were. So I'm giving you like actual notes of scents that you can kind of mix and match. So there's those notes of bergamot, neroli, jasmine, and dainty sandalwood. I like the use of dainty in front of the sandalwood. I feel like it does a good, a nice little balance of the harshness of sandalwood, but of course the daintiness of dainty.
Okay, okay. So how can we get more of the feels? How can we engage our sense of touch as we're reading this novel?
Yeah, so I feel like a weighted blanket really would help, kind of just like on your lap while you're reading with your book in hand. Um, Again, I mentioned kind of like the sounds of nature, having like a pitter patter of rain would really help with the getting more in the feels, the warmth of, the fire if you can have it. I don't have a fireplace, so maybe a nice space heater that can properly distribute heat to replicate that that sense. But yeah, those are kind of like the big ways to get more of the feels.
Well, there you go, book lovers. These are your recommended supplies as you read this title. If you're able, pause and get some of these if available, or simply imagine because it's time for my favorite scene. Disclaimer, please note the exact words, names, locations, and or scenarios mentioned in this reimagined reenactment may differ from the actual book. Sharing my favorite scenes I reenacted though, imagining the fiction world that I've been reading of. Going from all the things I just gave you a list. Come experience all the senses as protagonists. And it don't get more real than this. Immersive read with books on both and live vicariously. Mother is up to something. Starring Talia Basma as Sophia and the narrator and Kat Trinidad as Mother. Hey, baby, isn't he a cute boy?
Her mother asks, I guess, Sophia admits, despite knowing it'll just excite her mother more.
You should talk to him. Make him feel welcome.
Mama. She glances down at her worn pajamas, then back at her mom. What are you up to right now? Her mother feigns an offended look.
Nothing. What could I be planning? We live in a little bit. Even I'm not so dense as to think you can find love here anymore.
Her mother's words seem to be the perfect motherly combination of reassuring and unnerving. She grumbles, I should go wear real clothes if he's going to be here long. Unable to help herself, her mother teases,
Why? You want to impress him?
You know that's not the reason. Her mother waves a hand.
Your need to find things to control with something you didn't plan happens is very random. Neither your father nor I have this issue.
She points to the kitchen.
Yalla, go make something for him and your father if you need to use your hands so badly.
Sophia walks to the barren kitchen, seldom as grateful for her bra as she is in this moment.
Book lovers. If you have enjoyed the sneak peek, you can hear more by reading the whole book. Love Not Required by Talia Basma is available at your local library and everywhere books are sold. And if it's not, request it because you deserve to read all the books that interest you. And if you've already read Love Not Required or in the middle of reading it, let me know in the comments what you like to do to set the mood for reading because I would love to hear from you. So please leave your feedback. Did you know you can support this show by downloading and becoming a member of the Alive Podcast Network app? You experience unlimited access to Black hosted content, and we'll be able to keep bringing you amazing content week after week. Talia, is there anything else you would like to share with the listeners?
Nothing much, just hope you enjoy reading Love Not Required once you get your hands on it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Today is this book's book birthday. You all please show the author a lot of love and support by going out and either purchasing your book at your local indie bookstore or requesting it at your local library to ensure that it's in stock. I want to say thank you again, Talia, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, book lovers, for listening. With peace, much love, and joy. Happy reading.
The Books and Vogue Podcast. Come get your favorite next book. The Books and Vogue Podcast. With Catching Red. Subscribe, listen, check out recommendations, and happy reading.